What's up, traders? Tough day today in a big overall sense. Had a loser on EXAS. This was a very tough trade. We did have one winner in LYFT. That was a pretty boring trade. But I'm actually going to go ahead and post the live trade. It was a tough one to get through. It was actually pretty exciting. And overall, I am actually kind of proud of myself for how we ended up playing it. I'm going to do this a little backwards, actually. I'm going to just kind of give you the recap of my thoughts here. But as you can see, when we first started this, the volume was a little bit on the lower side and I was a little bit sketched, and we were actually in a 50-cent scale over here on the right side when this first popped up. It was also getting closer to 11 o'clock. It also felt like news. It kind of came out of nowhere. As you can tell, the volume for the rest of the day wasn't quite there. So I immediately said, okay, well, if I'm going to play this, I'm going to cut my share size in half. So that's exactly what I did. So that was actually plus number one for the mentality of, stepping back, not just FOMOing into the trade, evaluating the trade, saying, okay, I see what's happening. Low volume, probably a news play, not usually the best odds in my favor. I still want to play it though. It's a great move. Let's get in, but with half size. So that's what we did, and it actually felt pretty toppy here. As you can see, this was kind of where it first started making its first little pullback here. That was actually why this ad seemed a little bit close, but in the moment, it actually didn't seem that close. But you can see I started to slow it down and tried to really feel the tops here afterwards. And believe it or not, this ad right here was probably the one that kind of cost me a little bit because it was about the halt. And it looked like the bid was stacking up, and I got the current halt price as my fill, and but right as I hit the button, the halt price jumped up, and so did the stock, and it went to the new halt price, which was way up here, and we actually ended up adding again going into the halt, hoping that just like any other stock that usually we see like this, tends to come back down after a halt. And unfortunately, it opened all the way up here at 88. If we click on this candle, you'll see that the candle opened at 87.95. So it did not quite go in our favor out of the halt. I had told myself going into the halt that I wasn't going to add anymore because I didn't know if this thing had like a buyout at $100. I didn't know what was going on, right? Especially when it halts a high price stock like this, you don't exactly know what's happening, and the halt prices start to get pretty far up there as they continue. So I told myself wasn't adding anymore, gonna see what happens out of the halt, and sure enough, it actually came back down to the previous halt and then spiked all the way up to 89. It was all pretty instant, right? So there was no way to actually add to this, etc., as it happened, which you'll see in the live trade. But it came down, and unfortunately, if I would have got this ad right here out of the halt, we actually could have got green on this. It would have brought our average up to 84. I think it was 66 or something like that. Again, we'll see it in the live trade. But as it came back up, it started to try to get shoved down. It almost got back to high of day, which is right at 89, and it got back up to 88, 84, and it started to try to push back down. So I actually got to add there at 88.50. So this was a 1, a 1, a 2, a 2, and a 4. So we were in a 10 multiple here, and then on this one I did a 6 instead of an 8. I basically did 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, and then 6. And the reason I did this is because I knew, as you'll see in the live trade, that my stop was at high of day. So if I could get an ad to bring my average up, because I think I was down at like 82. And if I can get my average up, if we can get another pullback at least to around this area, we could get out of this break even. And you'll see that I have my take profit order around break even. So I wasn't trying to be greedy. I wasn't looking for a big green trade here. I realized that we got in way early, so I was looking for a way out of the trade. And so we got that ad and it started to work, right? We had our order sitting here right at pretty much break even. It was like a little green. I think I put it at 84.55 or something, and our average was at like 85.66. So that's all I was looking for. I was looking for that $0.50 test. Wasn't even getting greedy, looking for this support area again, which is actually down at 83.50. I was just looking to get out of the trade. But I knew if I took this ad here, I immediately put my stop right back in. I put a nice hard stop in. So if it wanted to go through, then so be it. But I took that ad as close to where I knew my stop was going to be, and sure enough, it tried, right? It gave us just a little bit of a tease. It tried to get through that key 86 area, and it just couldn't do it, and it went back up and stopped us out. Unfortunately, we had our stop right at high of day at 89, and we actually got filled at 89.44, which kind of sucked. So we ended up taking a pretty big loss on it. But again, I feel like I traded the plan, right? We played the para. We just didn't get our pullback. It consolidated, and it went higher. that means cut. So we cut, right? We followed the plan. We traded it the best that we could, and it just didn't work. I mean, look at this thing. It's a beast. I still don't even know what the news is. I actually, during the halt, tried to look for something. I couldn't find anything. So I don't exactly know what it is. I'm sure I'll hear it at some point today or tomorrow. But anyways, that was the trade on EXAS. I'm going to show it live here. The LYFT trade I'll throw in there too. I don't really think that it's going to be that big of an, it was pretty boring. I got in as the SPY was actually making a move. LYFT was trying to go with it. In the moment, when I entered the trade, it felt pretty good, but it actually ended up not really being a fast trade. It ended up being pretty slow. But with that said, guys, I am putting these out here for free to document my journey. I have days like this. It sucks. So if you don't mind, just hit that like button. I do appreciate the support. If you have any questions or comments as well, leave those down below. If you want to just show some support, if you want to show some negativity, Tim, you suck. You obviously shouldn't have traded that. Blah, 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 blah. Leave that down there too. I always love to have conversation with you guys, and it makes me better, right? Maybe you guys see something that I didn't see. The whole point of this channel is to learn together and to move forward so that we can actually make this in the end, right? And that's also why we start. Everyone always asks me, when are you going to scale up? When are you going to scale up? Well, I'm not ready to scale up yet, right? If we're still having losses like this, we need to figure out how to not have losses that are superiorly, that's not a word, is it? That are heavily outweighing our wins, right? We need to figure out how to fix that. And until we can fix that, there's no reason to scale up. So yeah, I said I was going to probably scale up for my birthday, which is the end of this week. So maybe I scale up just a little bit because of the other news that I have coming, which I'm going to give to you guys next week. But we still technically are not ready, right? But we do need to get up to a point where, our winners aren't just $2 to $10, and every once in a while we have a loser like this, where we actually cut the trade in half to start, which was pretty good, obviously, but it's still $144 versus, these $2 to $10 winners. It just doesn't make sense. So with that said, let's get to the live trades. And again, if you do have any questions or comments, leave those down below. And here's the live trades. So watching LYFT here, it's on the scanner, but it's not all the way up there. But the SPY's moving too. It's a pretty extended move. There we go. All right, we're going to start LYFT 27.19. Pretty fast move up here, nice and extended. I usually don't play these off the bottom like this, but this is a pretty good move, and honestly, there hasn't been anything else so far this morning, so maybe a little FOMO here. All right, we're just going to add here. Got 30. We're just going to I'm going to stop out a high of day if it really wants to go. I mean, this did not turn out to be the trade that I wanted. It's just completely slowed down. It's really just following the SPY. The SPY is kind of doing the same thing. We'll put the order here at 27.11. This is a very boring trade. We'll see what happens with it. So we're coming down. We're 1 penny away last time. See if it wants to give us that little shove this time to get us filled there at 11. Last time it popped right back up, or we took, okay, here we go, we're on the bid. Man, we were the last one on the bid. We're just going to take it there. So we got 13. It didn't seem to want to give us that 11. Oh, and there it would have been. So not a big deal, just 2 cents. But that was just such a boring trade, so at least it worked out. Let's pull up EXAS. It's not on the scanner, you can see, but it is on the other. I mean, it's on the Ultra Scan, but it's on the one that's priced higher. Not a huge fan of the volume here. Really liking the extension though. Look at this thing go. The volume is kind of what's creeping me out. Is this some kind of news? It's just weird. I mean, even though it's not a lot of volume, it is way more than previously throughout the day. Man, look at this. It's going to try to halt. It's trying to get up through 78. What is going on here? I think I'm gonna cut my share size in half and get in this. 77.66 is what we got. Here we go. We're coming down. I just didn't like. One, I don't like the volume. 2, I feel like it's news. So that's 2 red flags for me. So I'm gonna at least cut my shares in half here. If it wants to continue, it's okay. Obviously, it's part of the strategy. Okay, here we go. It's right up to a halt, 78.91. See if we can get the bid up there. Big spread. There we go. Get an ad there, looking for the possible halt. Oh, okay, the halt price went up. 79.70 now the halt price. Do not think I'd be adding there. That'd be too close. We'll put an order out here. It is trying to halt here. I hate that it does that. It's like it works sometimes, the replace thing. So it's right at the halt, 79.70. I am not going to add here. That's too close together. This thing already showed that it can move quite a bit. Always going to keep an order out there as well, because this thing can obviously move quickly both ways. It's trying to halt though. I got a feeling that it's about to tick up. It's been at 79.70 for a while here. Plus the bid's not coming up, so it's not going to halt anyway. Bid is coming up. Oh, there it goes. 80.50. So people were just waiting to hit that. All right, I am looking for an ad here. I'd like to see it try to halt again, honestly. Part of me wants it to halt and just get the ad into the halt. Because usually that's what slows it down to give us a nice little pullback. Cancel this. I'm just going to move it up, try to maybe get out of this a little bit. I mean, I only moved it up 15 cents, but that was more so to front run the $0.50. See if we can come back down. It would kind of suck if that's the top because we didn't get an ad up there. I just felt like it was a little too close. It's going to make it harder to get back down to our average here. Still a pretty extended move. Our take profit's right at about 50%. The VWAP's still all the way down there at 76. All right, looks like it wants to try to go high of day again here. 81.39 is the new halt price. Would definitely be looking to get an ad there if it does get there. Starting to consolidate, which is kind of crappy. If it consolidates for another few minutes, we'll probably look to just cut this at high of day. Oh, it's going high of day now. There we go. Look at the spread on this now, 70 cents. I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable. We are getting some volume now, though. Here we go. It halts at 82.20 now. Would really like to see it get there. Get an ad there. Might be getting it a little bit before that. Oh, missed our chance there. Nice little pullback here off of that quick move. And we started this thing way early, huh? I knew that volume was a little sketch. That must have been the people that heard the news first. That's the thing about news, is a stock that just got news, it's all about price discovery. So when you get into that price discovery mode, that's why I was having trouble thinking, because I wanted to get an ad there. I was watching the price. It looked like it was about to come back down through 81. Looks like we were wrong. Right after we hit the button, it decided to go right back to high day. I like the ad though. Brings our average up. We'll obviously cancel that. Brought our average up to 79.64, but we are going a little bit higher now. Brings us above that previous support that it formed at 79. But basically, when you get these stocks that start moving off of news, it puts it in price discovery mode. So we don't know what the news was. You know, was it a buyout at 85? Was it a buyout at 100? Like we don't know what the news was, right? When we're trading blind per se. Here we go, coming up to 80. Oh, right to the halt price, 83.87. See if the bid comes up to it, we're going to add. I thought I saw the bid come up to it. What did we get there? We actually got 83.16 there. Man, I thought the bid was up there, and then the halt price went up even further, 84.71 now. That might have been the bad ad here. It's okay. We still got plenty of room. Okay, we're trying to halt again here, 84.71. All right, this is getting serious. I don't think I want to add here, though. Just let it use it as resistance for now. See if it moves up again. There it is, 85.56, right to it. Okay, now we'd be looking for an add. See if it wants to get up to 85.56. If it looks like it wants to halt, we're going to add into this. Bids up there. All right, we're at 56. All right, we're going to get the add there. Actually got 55. Looks like it might be struggling to halt, and it just clicked up to this halt price, so it should be used as resistance for at least a minute here. There is just no selling pressure. This is kind of scary. Absolutely. It might halt. I don't know. The bid's there. Okay, it halted. All right, so interesting. We definitely started this thing early. It's basically gone straight up, and at least we sized in, like at least we had the red flags to start the trade, right? As you can see, it's a $1 scale now, and it's starting to squeeze even on the $1 scale, but we had low volume. It was out of nowhere, so that usually means news, which I'm going to try to look up what the news is here. All right, so we should be opening up soon here. It says it's going to open up at 88, so that's kind of crappy. It actually went down to 83, which was good for us. Our average is sitting at 82.70, but now it's all the way up there at 88, 87.95. Okay, so it did open up at 87.95. Looks like it tried to drop all the way back down to the previous halt price, and now it's going higher. The plan is here not to add to this. We're just going to see what it does out of the halt and go from there. If it wants to form a high here, come back down and then go higher, we're going to have to cut this thing. It's obviously showing signs of strength. I mean, you can see the 9 here is just keeping up with it. VWAP's starting to catch up to it as well, especially now that we get more volume. There's more volume on the higher side of the price here versus where it was when the move started. All right, we're coming back down. We're sitting at 82.70. We got our order at 82.55, just looking to break even here. Coming down. See if we can get through this 85 area. There we go. We're going to have to break through this. Nice, 84.20, 84. Nice, let's get through that. Down into the 83s. This is a pretty quick move down, which isn't a good sign. Probably should. Part of me wants to take some of this off. Let's see if we can get that push. Nope, starting to bounce. It's so hard too because of the spread. You're looking at 30 plus cents on the spread every single time. So when the ask starts getting hit like that, there's not much we can do about it. It's getting bought up here. Thinking high a day is going to have to be a cut. If it wants to get all the way back to high day after that kind of a pullback, I think we're going to have to just cut this thing. It's coming up. That was a pretty big move down. If it can hang out here, though, might be a good sign that that was the top here at 89. It's starting to come back up. Say that wick on that candle before this one does not look good for us. We're going to put the stop in just to be safe. With this spread, I'm kind of fearful too. We're going to get a lot of slippage. Just thinking about if it does something here near high of day, we could look to get a last add, right? Since we're so close to high of day, here it goes. Ooh, right to 88.80. Bid was all the way still down at 88 though. Like shaking. Love to see the bid to come up, but the ask stay the same here, so we could get an add. Here we go. So close though. Are we gonna get an add here? We're gonna cancel this. We're gonna put our hot stop right back in. Okay, good. All right, thankfully it went down and not right up through 89. So now we got an add there, 50 cents away from high of day, and brought our average way up. That was actually way more than I thought it was going to. We went from 82.60 to 84.63. So now we can go ahead and cancel this. We can move it up. We can look to, let me clear that. We can look to just get that test of that previous candle's low now. It'll actually be really good. I'll put it at 84.63. We'll just put it at 55. We'll try to run it. Ooh, look at that. The spread on this is crazy. That's what kind of scares me if we do get stopped here. We're definitely not going to get stopped at 89, I'll tell you that. You would think you would, since you'd be technically on the ask to get filled before it goes through, but unfortunately that's not how it works for us small accounts over here. If we can work down there and get through 86, I feel like that's the key area, right? Previous halt, that's where it kind of held support here as it went back up. Come on, work its way down, trying to get down to 86. Definitely not going to be too pretty, but it's definitely not too bad. I don't feel like we played this bad at all. We're following our plan. And the reason I know we're following our plan is because we have a hard stop in at high of day, right? We're not going to let this get any further away from us. I feel all the ads on the way up, there was nothing wrong with those. Some of them might, the one around 81 might, no, I actually like that one. I guess maybe the one around, no, I mean, they all look good. I can't even complain about the ads here. We scaled in pretty close to our 20 variable. We ended up at 16. 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, and then we added a 6 here at the top. I mean, this is just a strong move. I mean, these are going to happen. Here we go, coming down. Nice through 86. That was exactly what we wanted. See if we can actually get the ask down through 86. Close. Come on. Not quite. Right back up. Ah, man, look at how jumpy this thing is. Not even looking to be greedy, not looking for VWAP, not looking for the bottom of that candle, just looking for it to try to come down and retest the bottom of that candle. Just to try to get out of this break even. Although it is starting to look like a descending triangle here. But even so, I feel like where our order is pretty close to it. I mean, possibly going down through 84.50 could be something. Maybe get a little profit out of having to live through this. We'll see. Let's see how it acts here at 86. That's the key level here. As you can see, it got bought right up through it again. And this thing is whippy. The spread on it is nuts. I mean, it is a higher price stock, so it's to be expected. It does look like a nice ascending triangle here, though. Some people might, look at this as a bull flag, which it very well could be, but to me it looks like a descending triangle. So that's kind of what we're playing. Got our hard stop in at high of day, so it can't go any further against us, right? That's the good thing. Just trying to be patient here. Let's come down to 86 and give it a test again. I think I am going to move this down. Just a little bit. Trying to make a little profit. Because if we get that dump through 86, I mean, we still got room to the bottom of that previous candle. I think we would at least try to test that if we can do that, but it's starting to look like it wants to curl back up. I never did find any news on this thing. I wonder if it has something to do with Logitech, because now Logitech has taken off. That's definitely news. Like, see the volume all day, and then look at this volume bar, especially with the price movement. So it's pretty obvious what's going on there. That's why I don't like these. If this ends up being a loser, I'm going to say I wish it was after 11 o'clock because I would have never got into it, but it was pretty close. It was like 10:40 when this started. Say now we're past 11 o'clock now. There's what I was afraid of, is a few ask orders getting hit there. It's going to bring us back up pretty quickly because of the spread. Sometimes that can work in your favor, but there it is. Oh, I bet we got 44. Yep. 89.44, so we ended up with 44 cent slippage there. That one kind of hurt, but not even going to be too mad about how it played out. We followed the plan. We'll see what it does here, but I wasn't about to let this thing keep going against us. So, all right, well, that's unfortunate, especially to end the day, but it is what it is. All right, traders, that was the trade on EXAS and LYFT. So, again, any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below, but that's all I got. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I always appreciate that support, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.